What's going on, people? Welcome to the United Stand. Welcome to the Flex and Rants show. Rants, we saying, man?
Hey, what can I say, bruh? I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm still buzzing from that, fam.
First game down. I don't think a lot of us can put our hand. I said it to Nuruddin. Put your hand on the badge. Put your hand on the heart, and say you predicted a 4-0. We didn't. You predicted 2-1. I predicted 2-1. But what we're going to talk about is ruthlessness. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's ruthlessness. That's what we're going to start with for today's Flex and Rant show. We didn't see ruthlessness or as much of it in the transfer window as what we wanted to see as United fans. We all pretty much agree on that. Don't know whether you guys do, but the general consensus is the ins and outs wasn't really there. Then it was down to, right, the transfer window's shut. What's Ole going to be saying with his team selection? Can he show ruthlessness with the players that he's got now at his disposal? And we saw that.
Yeah, I think we did. And it's interesting because Ole said something. He said that you're going to see, like he said, it's more about the players I want here than who's here. Do you know what I'm saying? And he was basically saying you're going to start to see with my team selections who's wearing the armband, who's in my long-term thoughts and who isn't. And we saw that Jones and Smalling weren't in the squad. Twanzebe was. So all the people asking, is Axel going to go out on loan? There's your answer. It's that simple.
Mad, isn't it?
That's a big move to put him in as the only centre-half, recognised centre-back on the bench and drop two of the club's most experienced centre-halves, whether they're good or not. It's massive.
Yeah, good. Yeah, experience is definitely the right word. Yeah. The best.
It's massive. That's massive. That's a massive call. People might see us a lot of pressure on Axel, but I don't think it is because he's that good. You see what I'm saying? And then even when you look at the fact that he opted to go for Andreas over Matic, and I thought, you know what, big game, he's going to bottle it and do the Matic thing. Like, he was the one guy that I thought was a dead cert.
We literally said that on the way up, innit?
Yeah, out of the two, him and Mata, I thought Matic is the one that he's going to go to. And he didn't. And that was massive as well. That was super, super big. And to get rid of Lukaku and say, all right, Mason Greenwood, you're with us now, and then come out as well in the press conference and say, you know what, Mason's going to get a real shot this year. Bro, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for the way he's played it, bro. If this is the philosophy, if this is how he's going to set up to build us going forward, then I think everyone's going to be behind him, bro. Like, Ole's not under no pressure this season. Like, I was speaking to Robbie before. Robbie was like, because I said, Arsenal under pressure, and he was like, Ole's under pressure. Ole's not under pressure, bro, because we've probably got the 5th best squad in the league at present. We're going to finish 5th or 6th probably on the way of what we've done. The fans kind of know that. Do you know what I mean? And if Ole keeps playing like this, we'll back him into the next transfer window.
Yeah, exactly, to have a real sub
that's
shot
what I mean,
at it.
because if Ole next transfer window brings in a right winger and 2 centre mids, and that's the only business he does, all of a sudden, our team's looking like, okay, now we can challenge properly for the top 4, maybe even the top 3 if we get in 2 good midfielders and a right winger. So, do you know what I'm saying? I think that if Ole sticks to his guns, like, he's not under pressure, bro. I think he's got a free hit. As long as he finishes within the top 6, I'd say that he's done what he's supposed to do.
I like the fact as well with the Chelsea game that not only did he show ruthlessness in them positions that you said with the Matic thing and obviously the Jones and Smalling not even in the squad, but we didn't play well, especially in midfield. We got overrun, and a lot of the problems that we perceived to be there before ball was even kicked were evident in that first 20 minutes with our midfield. Let's get that straight. But as the game went on, it's not like Ole hit panic button and went, actually, do you know what? Abort mission. I know I've started Pereira instead of Matic, but he didn't tell. I don't even think I saw Matic out warming up.
No.
Did you? I don't think, unless I'm mistaken, someone correct me, but I don't even think I saw him doing sprints as if to say, we're losing a midfield battle. No, let's just stick him on. He's still stuck with it.
That he was going to take Luke Shaw off.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? And we all saw that.
Exactly.
Too,
so for me, I think even more props to Ole. And another thing, ruthlessness as well, was he didn't start Matic, yes, but the Mata thing, we thought, you know what? Even in the car on the way up, we were like, I bet he starts one of them or both, and we can't. And he didn't. And even as the game went on, Mata last little 5 minutes or whatever.
And he brought him on in the middle. He didn't bring him on out wide. So I think he knows this whole pace thing. It's real, like. Do you know what I mean? And if that's the case, man, like, hats off to Ole, man. Just keep the same energy for the rest of the season, and I'll keep the same energy.
That was going to be my next question to you. Do you reckon that it was our first game of the season, so technically you could say it's not a one-off because, like you said, we've said off camera, big game, Chelsea at home, you would go with your experience. So really, if you're going to do it at any time, you probably wouldn't choose to do it then, but he did. Do you believe though that going forward, he will pick our best team, which looks like not far off, apart from the Andreas spot, which is kind of up for grabs?
But that was the only thing that was different from the 11 I put on Twitter before.
Yeah.
It's just that I put Daniel James to start on the right because I said his pace going that way would be too much for Chelsea instead of Andreas and Jesse in the middle. Other than that, it was the exact same team that I would have picked. So when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, like we're kind of on the same page, which was encouraging for me because literally I know that we don't have the strength in the midfield. But the transition is quick. When they were doing the match of the day breakdowns, bro, 9 seconds from box to box. That's
Man United of old.
9 seconds. That's a 100-meter sprint, like boom, from end to end, and that's with the ball. That's quick, bro. Do you see what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be the fancy, intricate tiki-taka stuff. Like United have never played that kind of football. United have always played with aggressive intent on the counter-attack and very direct. That's it. Like it doesn't. Even when Leicester won the league, they were pinging 40-yard diags to Mahrez and starting their attack on the edge of the other players' area,
and then just getting Vardy
cut
behind
the midfield out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that, like it looks nice and that the way City and Liverpool and that play, but it's not more effective than how we play if we're gonna stick to that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about. It's about effective. And I think with the balance of the team we have, we've got a very strong defence, and we've got a blistering attack. So it just makes sense that we play direct.
With the midfield, we've got to talk about it. It was actually one of the questions, but since we're on the topic of the Chelsea game and how it panned out, Chelsea for that first, I think it was 20 minutes before we got the penalty in it, I was worried. I was at the edge of my seat thinking, literally, I didn't want it to pan out like that, but everything that was my gut feeling of, and most of you guys at home, of this midfield situation, the fact that we've let 2 midfielders go in Fellaini and Herrera, we knew the case and we didn't bring one in, we just got pulled apart in that midfield. They were just bypassing it. Yeah. To the fact where, to be fair, because our defence is actually improved, it probably didn't show how big a deficiency it is in our midfield. Like, going forward with this season, what do we do? Because Pogba had, like you said in your player ratings, a bad game by his standards. But if he doesn't show up and put on 2 assists like that, and that's our only kind of creative spark in there, the Andreas situation is probably the only space up for grabs in our midfield as our best midfield, if you're being honest. Maybe put Jesse in there as the 10. How big a problem is that going to be for us? Because going against Wolves with that midfield,
but
how do you see it panning out? How big a problem is it?
I'm not as worried.
Are you not?
Do you know what I mean? Last season was different, and I just feel like with Wan-Bissaka now, like I feel like the lack of balance is what killed us last season as well, because everyone knew just double up on the left-hand side. That's what they were doing. They were killing us.
Got Rinks on that side.
We were getting, the left-hand side were just getting double because everything came down that side. So all they were doing is they were trying to make us play down the right. The reason why Pogba had such a good second half compared to the first half is because in the first half, when Andreas was on the right-hand side, we didn't have an outlet on the right. I mean, when Jesse was on the right-hand side, because Jesse was drifting in. And then he got an outlet on the right-hand side. And if you look at the 2 chances he created and where he picked up the ball, Pogba's always going to do that. Whether he's having a good game or a bad game, he likes to play forward. And as long as he's got willing runners on either side of him and down the middle, which you don't have when you've got a Lukaku, you've got a Lukaku standing there with your thumbs up,
doing traffic
like
signals,
what are you doing? You know what I mean?
What are you doing?
And then you've got Anthony Martial on left wing, who doesn't like to run in behind.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I'm saying? And then Rashford coming short, it just didn't work. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Now, whereas Rashford's out wide, but he's trying to make the runs in, and Martial can come and hold it and flick it off, like as we saw for the 4th goal. The link up between Pogba and Martial.
I didn't even realise. It happened so fast, I didn't even realise.
Pogba played that ball around the corner. If he played that to Rashford, Rashford would probably try to turn and run on his own. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
Tony just kept it moving, 1 touch set.
And that's what I mean. So I feel like the dynamic of the team's different. So against a team like Wolves, I think Wolves will keep the ball well in the midfield again. But I think on the break, that pace will just hurt them, bro. Like it will. We didn't have that. And I feel like we actually, the way Tony was pressing and winning slide tackles at the corner flag and that, like I think we turned a corner, like with, like we actually know what we're doing now.
Yeah, it does look like that. Martial, because you touched on it there, but we're going to bring it up as well. I saw from him off the ball, something you don't associate with Martial. He was working tirelessly. I don't know what it looked like on TV to you guys watching at home. When you're in a stadium and you can literally watch one player for 5 minutes just to see what they do off the ball.
He injured himself trying to win the ball for us.
Madness. When have you ever seen that? He was running in for slide tackles, trying to shut down defenders. And I know you should say, that's the minimum. There's going to be people out there say, well, yeah, damn right,
that's not his game.
But that's not his game. And it's something that Ole said to him. You can tell he's gone and said, listen, yes, you're going to be my number 9 and you're literally going to have your 9 back. But this is what I want from you. And as much as you said the goal topped off his performance and that, which was good that he got it, he was working tirelessly on and, more importantly,
and he played
off
90
the
minutes,
ball.
and he never plays 90 minutes for us. Like only LVG was the only manager that would play him for a full game. Do you know what I mean?
That's backing, isn't it?
He was always get pulled off. And when I saw Rashford get taken off before Tony, that's the manager saying, you know what, I've given you a task and you've completed it, bruv. And you could tell Ole's coached that into his game because he was initiating the press, he was running, he was pulling everyone forward, he was chasing from right to left, left to right, slide tackles, laying it on. He worked tirelessly up there and he just looks fitter as well.
He does look much sharper. Do you feel with Martial, with his mentality and the type of player he is, because I do feel like that's not naturally the sort of player he is, but fair play to him. If you want to play in this team, mate, you better bring that attribute out of you. Do you think as the season goes on, though, he can keep that hunger, keep that in terms of off the ball, working hard, and when he misses a few chances, he doesn't have that expression and lack of trying to do that element where he's definitely raised that. Like,
I think he'll do that anyway. It's his game now. Like Ole's told him, you're my guy. This is what I expect from you.
Yeah.
That's 10 out of 10 man management there because people talk about Martial's attitude. There's never been anything wrong with his attitude. He's shy, bro. Like that's all it is. He doesn't talk. Do you know what I'm saying? So when people are saying that he's got a bad attitude, he just does not talk, bro. Like,
and that expression that he has, just that plain.
That's it. He just wants to play football and go home to his daughter. That's it.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like even when you see Jesse and Marcus and them, man, like when they all go out, like I can't remember where they were. I think it was on pre-season. Them man all went to like a theme park. Martial is at home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's not in any
throwing
of
his
that.
daughter up in the air.
Them man go out for dinner. They do all of
yeah.
these things. Tony's not in any of the photos.
That's mad, isn't it? And look how young he is as well.
He's
but he
young.
just literally
he's
isn't
young,
that guy.
but he's like an old man.
Yeah.
Bro, like, and that's fine. And they all love him when he scores. So it's not like he's antisocial.
Yeah.
He just lives his life differently to them, innit? So to say that he don't have a good attitude, no. It's just that Ole knows that Tony's the guy. You just put your arm around him, say, listen, that's what I want you, and you just leave him alone. And that's it, bro. When he scored, look how happy everyone was for him.
Yeah. And even him, it looks funny when you see him with a radiant smile. It looks like it doesn't suit his face. When I saw him going,
yeah, he was just I got
it looks
my
like a
shirt
Photoshop.
back.
Like it didn't look quite right.
He got his shirt back, bro.
He got his goal, and it's going to be a big season for him, innit? Because I know we were listening to some pundits on the way up on TalkSport, innit? And I can't remember who it was, but the guy was saying, like, you know, Man United's number striker's got to be Rashford. It's going to be Rashford. Whereas as Man United fans, we kind of see the thinking throughout pre-season. We knew it was going to be Martial.
We were like, these guys don't watch Manchester United. The way they were talking, we knew. They were like, yeah, about the pre-season. I was like, you haven't watched Manchester United because Martial has played up front every game. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And these guys are getting paid money to do this. Like, you don't have a clue what's going on. Tony is our number 9. Rashford knows it. Tony knows, everyone else knows it. Do you know what I mean? There was no switching in the game. Martial stayed down the middle. He linked the play beautifully. He done everything that I knew he could do. And his link-up play and his awareness of what's around him is so underrated, bro. So many times he held the ball. And he's not massive, but he backs into people and he's got a presence.
And he's intelligent as well by the way he uses his body. You know, we see some of the smallest players in the world are the best at shielding the ball. You can't get it off him.
Tevez was the best at it.
Tevez,
like,
Messi.
So small.
Even Bernardo Silva.
And Suarez.
They
stick their bum out and they make it so hard for the person behind them to get the ball.
It's about football intelligence of how to move and use your body. And I think we can end up seeing a different side to Martial. Look, it's one game. Let's get this to not get this to this.
It was one game, but
we can't get too excited.
He wasn't playing against a team that's going to be struggling in relegation.
Exactly.
Like, as much as people say, oh yeah, Chelsea aren't what they were, Chelsea are definitely a top 6 team. And
played us off the park at times.
They're a lot better than the scoreline suggests. Yeah. So, like, as much as it was a great game, and yeah, we deserved to win 4-0 because we had 5 shots on target and we scored 4. We were clinical, so we deserved it. Do you know what I mean? And most of the shots were from outside the box. However, like, you have to respect who they are. And Martial put in a good performance and occupied 2 centre-backs on his own, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And Lukaku don't occupy centre-backs and he's 6'3".
It just goes to show it's about football intelligence. So Martial, just to finish off on Martial, give me maybe don't put your neck out too much because you know how the football world likes to try and come back and
That's
bite
fine.
you. You know what, people are waiting. But anyway, your gut feeling. How many goals do you think Martial's going to get this year?
I think all competitions he gets 20.
Yeah.
I do. But I actually think that Marcus Rashford might do the same.
Mm.
I think all competitions, Martial and Rashford between them, I'm going to put my neck on the line and say 45 to 50 goals between two of them.
That's a big statement.
In all competitions. I don't think that's a lot to ask, bro. You know what I mean?
But Adam was saying in his fan camp minimum he expects 40 goals between the two of them.
38 game season, not including the cup competitions, bro. Like, if these guys, we'll say they play 60 games because we're in all the competitions. I don't think 1 in 2, borderline 1.25 a game. I don't think that's asking too much. I don't. Like, especially with their maturity, forget the age. Like, this is Rashford's 4th season in the Premier League. And if he is going to be chipping in with the penalties here and there as well, I don't expect anything less than 40 goals between them. Anything less than that, I think that they could do 50 between them. I don't think that's asking too much.
It's a big step up that they've got to show us anyway, for sure, because we're going to have the faith in them. They are our 2 main strikers. They're going to be the first names on the team sheet.
Boy, Rashford only needs 20 more because he's got 2 already.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly. Let's talk about the back line, man. Let's talk about Mr. Slabhead Maguire for his debut.
Immense. And that's another guy that we've done a lot of speaking about today. And it's funny how a lot of people, they don't understand there's different nuances in football. Like, you can't say like X and Y is a good defender because it's good defender because sometimes there's intangibles like leadership and stuff like that you can't see on a stat sheet. The reason why a lot of people picked John Terry ahead of Rio Ferdinand was nothing to do with ability to defend or technical ability. It was his ability as a leader. Do you see what I'm saying? That's so when I'm saying to people, they're like, oh, Harry Maguire is not top 10 in the Premier League. Bro, he's top 5 in the Premier League, factually. Because all these defenders that you're talking about, how many of them need someone next to them? Do you see what I'm trying to say? Everyone was talking. Remember, we let Kurt Zuma in our team when we done a combined 11 because of them.
Yeah.
But
now you're looking at it like
Kurt Zuma looks good if he's next to someone. It's just like Gallas and Terry.
Yeah.
When Gallas wasn't next to Terry and he was at Arsenal, he looked crap.
Or Carvalho.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, Ricardo Carvalho was a very, very good defender. Do you know what I mean? But he was next to John Terry.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Rio was immense, but Rio wasn't a leader, bruv. Like, if Rio wasn't next to Vidic and Rio was next to a Gary Cahill, would he look the same player? Probably not. And Rio is one of my favourite centre-halves. Harry Maguire is a leader. Like, forget... he was the best of the rest in the Premier League anyway, by far. But even in the top 6, you can't... Arsenal and... what's the other team? And Chelsea. Neither of them 2 teams have a better centre-back than Harry Maguire.
No.
Put that aside.
Yeah.
Manchester City, only Laporte is better or on the level of Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Manchester, so
Liverpool.
Forget Manchester City. Liverpool,
Van Dijk.
apart from Van Dijk, nobody's on Harry Maguire's level.
Well, there was arguing
said
Gomez.
Joe Gomez, but if you put Gomez next to Matip instead of Van Dijk, I guarantee you, you're seeing all the deficiencies.
And I don't see Gomez as well as he's done on the come up, and he looks a fantastic player alongside Van Dijk, and they have a great unit.
Yeah.
I don't see, me personally, him command a box, command duels, command a battle.
And this is what John
like
Terry did. This is
yeah.
what John Terry did that Rio didn't do. So when people are arguing the Rio John Terry, it comes basically down to the model, the leader, the organizer. Rio wasn't the guy that was like, yo, this is the line, boom, boom, boom. That was John Terry. That's Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire stepped on that pitch like he's been at Old Trafford his whole career.
It did seem like that,
and just went boom.
Yeah.
And then there was one instance, who did he dash?
Aspilicueta, bro. Just dash Dave out of the way, bro.
Just
Santan him out the way, bro.
That's it, bro.
Santan, like, see you later,
that's
mate.
It. And then you look at Spurs now. Do you know what I mean? Toby, for me, is all round. He's the best ball playing centre back probably in the world. He's up there. Like, he can pass with both feet, reads the game well, but he's losing pace because he's getting older and his injury record's a bit mad. But you still put Toby Alderweireld up there.
Vertonghen, people might say as well.
Yes, again, he's in and around there. Yeah. But that still gives you 4 centre-backs. So but that means Harry Maguire's top 5 in the Premier League.
The way that
and 2 of them are at Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. The way that I think we're even having this conversation, it's kind of like you could maybe tweak that. For the fact that the conversation is even that close means that technically it's almost down to personal preference, but he's there or thereabouts.
Yes.
Absolutely.
This is it.
And I think what the rival fans are not understanding about this move, for us, as Man United fans, we get it. It's the impact he's going to have amongst our whole back five.
Yes.
And I think in one game, I already saw he brought calmness, he brought composure, he brought leadership, and he brought muscle.
And Lindelof looked even more calm.
He did.
Because Lindelof and Harry Maguire, like Lindelof plays a similar game to Harry Maguire without the physical side.
Yeah, he's
like
not as
Lindelof's
physical,
not commanding in the air, but he likes to play football. There were times where them two
Did you
passed
see when
the
he done
ball
that
to each
little
other.
pirouette? Was it Barkley? Nearly shut him down, and he just...
And he had the confidence to do that because he knew that he had Harry there. Do you know what I mean? If he was playing with Phil Jones, he probably wouldn't have taken that risk.
No.
You'd probably just lumped it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's the calming influence that Harry had, and them two just passed the ball. There was one time they passed the ball back and forth to each other because there was nothing on, about 4 or 5 times, because they trust each other. And they had the striker doing doggies.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done that if he had Phil Jones there. He wouldn't have played him that pass. You see what I mean? So I never felt worried at all.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I don't like to see my defenders running towards their own goal. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Everything Chelsea done was in front of us. It was percentage football. When you're shooting long range at David De Gea, I trust Dave, innit?
Yeah, it has to be a worldie to get
Like,
apart from the David back end of last season.
They never ripped us open and our centre-backs had to make last-ditch slide tackles or anything. It wasn't like that.
No.
We ripped them apart, bro. Like, Rashford was clean through, looking the goalkeeper in his pearlies, bro. Like, they never got through like that against us. So even though we didn't, our ball retention's never been good for a long time, but I wasn't looking at this Chelsea team saying, yo, these men are cutting us open. They weren't.
Yeah.
They just overran us. That's all it was.
Especially in the midfield area, and that's why they got a lot of joy, right? It wasn't because our
time.
back four was all over the place. And, you know,
We were very organised.
however, though, your favourite player, Luke Shaw, just while we're on the back four, because we'll touch on Wan-Bissaka in comparison, I saw Shaw, I got a new season ticket, so I've moved. And I'm right on the halfway line, right on his side in the first half. You sat on that side. 2 seasons. But you was the side on the bench, innit? I was the other side. So in the first half, Luke Shaw was right in front of me. And I was like, there was so much space in behind him, positionally, defensively. I was like, so there was a couple of times where literally Harry had to come across.
Yeah.
Harry did get turned and face his own goal, only because of Luke Shaw's exposure. I did see that a couple of times. And then on the offensive side, people are in and around me as well. I don't know what it was like from the views behind the goal, innit?
Yeah.
In the first half, there was like acres of green, just green grass.
Yeah.
And we're going, all right, Luke, go. This is you. And it's kind of like, you feel like you have to push man into the space. It's not inertly inside him to do it. And I just feel with Wan-Bissaka coming into it and we saw what he's done, and don't get me wrong, sometimes he might lose the ball because he's willing to drive at people. He might get nipped in the bud and he might have to run back towards his own goal. But anytime he got the ball, he's on it, he faces up the guy, he either passes it in and creates another angle for a 1-2 or pops it off to someone so that they can go, and he moves himself, or he just drives into the space. And I think we're going to see that.
He's so brave when he gets the ball. Like, he'll try and take on his opposing fullback if he can. Yeah. Take them down the outside. That's all I've been asking for Luke Shaw. And you know what it is, with a lot of these fans? They were so busy comparing Luke Shaw to Ashley Young that they weren't actually watching the game. You see what I'm saying? Like, I judge players on what they do in that game. Like, I'm not judging you on that. I'm going to compare Luke Shaw to Patrice Evra or Gary Neville. Like, I'm not going to compare him to Ashley Young. I know Ashley Young's, 1's not a left back. 2, Ashley Young's done. Like, his goose is cooked already. So all of these people that were saying, you got an agenda against Luke Shaw, even Ole was going to take him off. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So if Ollie's looking at him thinking, you know what, Ashley Young might be a better option and we're winning, that tells you Ole wasn't happy with what Luke Shaw's doing. Like, I don't understand, like, for me, what he's good at. Because defensively, like, diagonals kill him like, over his head. Like, his position's not good at those.
Yeah, he got caught a couple of times.
Yeah, diags kill him. And then, like, when we were pressuring high up, like, he was getting caught up too high up the pitch. And then attacking-wise, he offers nothing. Like, he put in one cross in the game and it got cut out by the first man because he cut it across the floor.
But he has, I honestly believe, because I agree with everything you just said, but I believe he still has the ability to do better, which is why he frustrates me. I remember when we was at Crystal Palace last year? Yeah. And he went on that mazy run and he set Lukaku and Lukaku
he done it once.
And me and you were like, why can't he do that more often? That's the frustrating thing with me. Well, even the first game of last season when he scored against Leicester, took his man, received it off, I think it was Mata in the end, and then he shot across goal, got his first goal. I've seen glimpses, and don't get me wrong, there's only so long you can only see glimpses for. You can't be a Theo Walcott and be potential for 10 years. You can't. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't understand. That's where my frustration comes from, where I don't just dash him out and just cut all losses. But don't get me wrong, this season, he's obviously...
The jury's out.
The jury's out, and I feel, especially with the unit becoming tightly knitted and it's coming together now as a project.
Everyone's starting to call him the weak link now.
There you go. So he has to raise it. And I feel like Luke Shaw's been, although he's been unlucky with the injury, I feel like that's actually bought him time and protection from the limelight.
Yeah.
And also, because we've had inferior players in a lot of positions, his position, I feel, has been overlooked a lot of the time because it's not the worst position we have to fill.
Everyone was saying that's the least of our worries.
Do you know what I'm saying? So he gets a blight. He gets a blight. But now, Wan-Bissaka on that side, Lindelof and Smalling solid, De Gea is De Gea.
Yeah.
Actually, the limelight's on you now, Luke. Now, I hope he can rise to it, because I would hate to see us have to go cash in and have to address the left-back situation, because as time goes on and we really want to kick on, because I feel like we invested that money in him at that time as a young fullback from Southampton who's done well.
But not even that. You just gave him a new deal, bruv. Like,
and that too.
That was ludicrous. Like, it was ludicrous.
I want to see him hit the heights,
like,
man.
I'm like, what did you do to earn that new deal? Other than just be here.
Good option. Maybe the club looking at it like we don't have to go out and spend
but
big.
not for that kind of money. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. You get a Lukaku situation. The problem why United can't sell their players on is because there are not clubs that are willing to take our players on the money that they're on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you do not take a Luke Shaw at, was he 23, 24? Yeah. You don't take him on 190 grand a week, bro. Like, where are you going to go that's
he has to come down. You have to come down.
He has to take a pay cut, or you need to pay him out of his contract. So now you got 190 grand a week player on the bench, and Arsenal got Kieran Tierney for 25 million. You see what I'm trying to say?
Even other left backs like a Chilwell, a Cresswell. Cresswell maybe not so much, but you can still look at it.
Chilwell's a good 2 levels above him.
Do you know what I mean? And I look at, obviously Robertson's in a league of his own. I just feel like we want specialists in all these positions, and not just specialists, top 2, top 3 in the league in these positions. And I don't know, I look at the left back situation, I'm like, unlike the Maguire situation, maybe unlike Bissaka, you can name 3 or 4 genuinely.
You actually can. But even when you look at Van Arnold, like, he's just better.
Emerson.
Like, Emerson.
I'm not saying he's better, but he did things that I want to see Shaw do, and he had 3 or 4 shots in the game, actually, from getting into good positions and just licking it with his left foot. Do you know what I'm saying? And if that's a guy he's even untried and untested as a Chelsea left back, he's not even. It was Alonso for a long time, so even they're just bringing him in, and already it's you get forward, you have pop shots, you link up play. And I don't know. I hope for Luke Shaw, look, there's loads of you who might have looked at this part of the Flex and Rant show and be like, you guys are doing it again. Just look at what we're saying. Rants has maybe even stronger view on it than me in terms of he probably would just change him. Because you've been questioning it for a long time, whereas I'm more on the side of...
I was one of the first people to question it. I think I was the first person, because I got all the backlash, I got all the heat, and now everyone's saying to me, oh, you know what, I can see it now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I would throw Dallo there for the simple fact that, in my opinion, at least you know what he's good at. Like, for what you'll lose defensively, you gain a lot going forward. Whereas with Luke Shaw, I don't think he offers much defensively or attacking wise. I think that
he's just in the middle of both.
He's just in the middle of both, where you're not an attacking fullback, you're not a defensive fullback. Because you could argue that Wan-Bissaka is a defensive fullback who attacks, but he's so solid defensively, you can overlook the fact that he doesn't have a delivery like Trent.
Yeah.
But for me...
Because his primary job is met.
Exactly.
Being a good defender,
but because
no one gets
can't
past.
defend like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he can't cross like Trent Alexander, you're just in the middle of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? You're no man's land left back, bro. That's what you are, bro. It's Castaway. You're Tom Hanks, fam. Do you know what I mean? It's just out here, bro. I just don't know what it is. So for me, like, get good at something quickly, or you're gonna get displaced, bro. That's football, specialists.
So that is the Luke Shaw debate. Let us know where you're standing on it. Do you stand on more on my side, where I'm like, I see that he's a bit of a deficiency in the side, but he could get better? Or do you see it where Rants is, where you're just not cutting the mustard? Let us know what you lot think on that one. So that's it on Luke Shaw, man. But it feels like we've been talking about the defence for ages, but we have to talk about it because it's so new look and it looks so strong. Wan-Bissaka, man, like he had a great game against Chelsea. And like we've been saying, like when we've been messaging and talking, like this guy just loves defending. Like he's just solid, and he looks like he really can be our right back for the next 10 years. And I know you don't want to get carried away after one competitive game, but he does look like that.
Bro, I was sitting next to, I'm in a new seat, I was sitting next to a few of the elders, like 60-plus-year-old guys, and they were like, listen, that's the best right back I've seen at Manchester United. They said, this guy...
The same night, one game.
Bruv, one game.
Better than Neville,
the guy said to me, his exact words were, I know Gary's a legend, but this guy is the best right back I've seen at Manchester United, bro.
Wow.
That's what he said to me. And that's a proper old man that's been there, done it, yeah, seen it all.
Sure he's not got no dementia or anything?
Nah, bro. Nah. Honestly, Gary Neville...
No, but that's
Gary
how he
Neville
feels.
never had a presence like that. Do you see what I mean? Like, Aaron, he's 6 foot, he's quick, and he's aggressive. Gary Neville was intelligent, do you know what I mean? And economical.
Passion and heart as
exactly,
well.
but he was very economical. Like, him and Beckham used to do the link up, do you know what I mean? The overlaps on all of those things. But I don't really think there were many wingers saying, oh, you know what, I'm playing against Gary Neville today. Do you know what I mean? I don't know they were scared of him like that. Whereas Wan-Bissaka just a nightmare, bro.
And even Ole's saying in the press conference, like, he's so aggressive and his willingness to not get beat is just so ever-present. Like, he relishes that challenge of, come on then.
Yeah, like
come on then, you're not getting past.
And the ball in the stands. Do you know what I mean? Upstairs they were saying, oh, like there's certain defenders, if they slide a lot, you think it's because they're out of position. But no, because you don't see, Wan-Bissaka's tackles are not last-ditch slide tackles.
That's his first option.
Bro, he just enjoys going to ground, bruv. Do you see what I mean? He enjoys it. Yeah. It's not like you've got past him and he's stretching. Yeah. This guy...
Which he can also do.
Bro, he didn't give away a foul in that game. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So it's not like this guy all ends up beaten and it's a Phil Jones, like, last minute. Like, no. This guy, his first option is to clean you out. And if in doubt, he's kicking the ball out the stadium. He's an old-fashioned right back. He's like, we're going to reset. Boom.
It's defence first, isn't it? And
he doesn't think about attacking.
Like you've said, like attacking-wise, people might look at him and say, oh, he hasn't got a good a ball as Trent Alexander-Arnold. But fundamentally, in terms of his default purpose...
He's a defender.
Defending. Yeah. It's like... He just enjoys it so much.
He's not a wing back. He's not full back. He's a right back, bro. He's a defender.
RB, proper old
a
school.
Proper right back. He's like, get to the halfway line. He'll keep going, but in his head, he's a defender first. And that is what it is. Whereas with Trent's an attacker first. And that's why people judge Trent on his assists and people judge Wan-Bissaka on his defensive numbers because they're not the same kind of players. Yeah. But as a winger, I don't want to play against a right back that loves defending. Yeah. I want to play against a fullback
that wants to go the other way.
That wants to go the other way. Because I know if I pin him back, he's not enjoying it. Yeah. He's not enjoying it. You know, there's certain right fullbacks here that don't like defending. Like Kyle Walker. If Kyle Walker's playing against a left winger that is pinning him back and he's in his half for two, you know he's not enjoying the game.
I just feel that with those types of players, because of the teams they're in and they're so dominant, they can have that. Yeah. Like, there's going to be very few times where Kyle Walker's team, City, are going to be inferior in possession, allow teams onto them, and the same with Trent. Liverpool front foot.
But that was my argument. I'm like, you put Trent right back at Crystal Palace, and see if man are talking about how impressive he is. Because I see man at Norwich give him a torrid time in that game, and Liverpool were dominant in that game pretty much. And that, bro, like, he was in trouble a lot. Like, everything came down his side. Like, if you put him for 38 games at Crystal Palace, like, all of a sudden, man ain't talking about assists and that. Like, we want to know, like, can you defend though, bro? Do you see what I'm saying? And that's why, for me, like, any fullback that loves defending, I hate playing against them, bro. You know what I mean? Like, Wan-Bissaka is different. He's definitely, like, for me, he's the best right back in the league. And we're lucky to have him. A 45 million is looking like an absolute bargain.
I'm surprised. You look at, just to finish off on him, you look at how hard ball Crystal Palace played over Zaha and ended up just pricing him out of a move. I actually feel quite sorry for Zaha in the end. He got done dirty by them and still put in a shift in their game. It could have been a lot more difficult with Saka. I know at the time we were still, as United fans, going, just get the deal done and still take, because we were always impatient. And to be fair, when it was actually announced of what it was, because we was also, I'd put out some polls of saying we're in for Bissaka. What's the maximum we should go? There was 60s and things like that. People were like, no more than 50. In the end, we got it done for 45 plus whatever.
Oh.
So that will be an absolute snip in years to come.
And guess what? Nobody's talking about how much he costs, and that's the biggest testament to the guy. Nobody's mentioning the fee because it's worth it. Like there's no debate. There's no debate. You know what I mean? Because you can spend we spent 40 million on Matic. So do you see what I'm trying to say? So if you spend 45 million on a guy that's gonna be our right back for the next 8 years, probably. Like, it's brilliant business.
Absolutely. Let's hit up the question section before we finish off with a look ahead to the Wolves game and how we should line up in that game. And I want to touch a bit on Daniel James because we haven't managed to do that as well. This is from Marshall FC. Do you think Fred is going to shine this season or is he going to flop?
I think that Fred has a lot to offer us. I think that in this new system with runners, I think that Fred and also Alexis Sanchez, I think that these guys have a role to play. I think people are forgetting about these guys.
I always forget about Sanchez.
Because Fred's default is to pass forward at all times. The reason why Fred loses the ball a lot is because he's always trying to play that killer pass. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. It's the same with Pogba. Like, if he loses the ball because he's trying to create something, I don't mind that. And I genuinely think with the Daniel James, the Rashfords, these willing runners around them, bruv, like you're going to start to see the range of passing that Fred has and the technical ability, man. So I think that he could come good for us. I think he could end up being a key player later on in the season, like he was at the end of last season. Barcelona, PSG,
best
man of the match, both games.
Yeah, it's a big season for Fred, and especially when, if we're being honest, hopefully Ole continues with this not playing Matic thing, which means that the spot is up for grabs. We know Pogba and McTominay are our best two midfielders now. Like, whether you agree with McTominay being propelled into that position or not, he is.
Yeah.
And to be fair to him, I think he'll grow as the season goes on, and he's shown me enough in pre-season and the back end of last season
he's maturing,
to say, do you know what? We all made fun of McTominay at the beginning, and
everyone did. I don't care who you are.
We all did. Yeah. But slowly we're seeing what he can offer us. He's not going to be a match winner and be an outstanding world-class player, but in a functioning team, I think he can play an integral part for us. But the third spot is going to be up for grabs with Fred, Pereira, Jesse in the 10, Mata in the 10. It's up for grabs, isn't it? So we'll see if we can put two hands on that. This is from @Unisusa _M. Can we pull out a Leicester City surprise by winning the league?
No. Bruv, like I don't even want to.
Well, we're not as far out as Leicester was. We're not 5,000 to 1.
We're not 5,000 to 1, bro. But like they had N'Golo Kante, bruv. If we had N'Golo Kante in our team, in our midfield, then I'd be like, all right, cool.
So we need Kante and drink water.
Yeah, but not even drink water. Kante and McTominay would have been calm. But it's Kante,
we ain't
bro.
Winning the league.
It's Kante. We're not winning the league, bro. And
that was just a one-off thing that just happens.
I'm not entertaining that either. Like someone called in the radio earlier when I was on and was like, "Oh, we're gonna win the league." Guys, stop it, innit? Like manage your expectations, innit? Like then we really will be a banter club, if we've got fans believing we can win the league. Like we would be. We're not at the moment, but like if we believe that. Then like we're going that way.
Next question from @Hughesy-boy23 says, at what point in the season do you see our midfield problem becoming serious, if at all?
I don't. You know why? I think our midfield problem's only serious if we have aspirations to win the league, which we don't. You know what I mean? I think that we can get through this season with our midfield as long as we're realistic with where we are. If we know that, we're a top 6 team this season, then the midfield's not an issue because as much as the midfield is deficient, I think we make up with it in so many other places that we're going to be okay.
Is it enough? Okay, then I'll flip that then. Is it enough to go to Anfield? Is it enough to go to Etihad and not just get pulled apart because you didn't even get a chance to counter-attack because realistically, you didn't even lay a finger on the midfield?
I think it is because we will adapt to that scenario. Do you know what I mean? When we go to those places away from home, you will see 3 in midfield. You'll see 3 centre mids. That's when you'll see the Matic, Pogba, McTominay. Do you know what I mean?
And you won't mind that for those kind of games?
No, you have to do it, man. Even at United, in their pomp, played a 5 in midfield against the top teams. We always did it. You know what I mean? And Ji-Sung Park was just in there running his socks off, or Darren Fletcher was in there running his socks off. Listen, you have to respect these guys. But against everyone else, do you know what I mean? You play Jesse in there and you just play the double pivot and you get on with it, bro. Okay. So I think we have enough.
Next question is from @realist_187, man like Saeed. Saeed says he wasn't at the game. I think he's in Morocco just chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Man, that Saeed. He says, will United be exposed down the right-hand side if we continually play an inverted midfielder, e.g. Pereira, which gives added pressure to Wan-Bissaka, especially against Wolves, who their fullbacks like to bomb on? What's Ole got to do?
In a game like that, then Ole probably has to play Jesse on the right. That's all that he has to do. Or you play Dallo there. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you double up that way. I'd like to see Dallo on the right because at least defensively, like, he gives us that. And also, he's got a Mr. Whippy on him. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have Dallo there than Andreas because he's physically a lot more imposing. He's stronger, he's quicker, and he can cross and he can defend. So for me, I'd play Dallo on that right-hand side and then that's problem solved.
And Dallo not even in the squad against Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't think he was actually. Was he on the bench? No, I don't think he was on the bench.
I'm not really sure, but
I don't think he was. If he was, I'll take it on the chin. But I don't think he was. Do you think Ole likes him?
I don't think Ole has a reason not to like him because he embodies everything that Ole wants. He's young, he's quick, you know what I mean? He's fit, like, so I don't understand why he can't be an integral part. Like, I can see him bombing down that right-hand side on a counter-attack, like, absolutely wetting it down the pitch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And PSG, again, was a standout moment for him when he came on because Ashley Young was having a torrid time with Bailly when he played a free. Then he went to that back four and he went right wing.
But that's it. So I think that he's an option. Like, I would definitely look at him as a right winger.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. There were loads more, but because we've got to review the Wolves game as well, this is going to be the last question. This is from @Fergie442. It says, can Sanchez play on the right and do the pressing role like Pereira did for us against Chelsea?
Yes, that's what I was thinking as well today. I was thinking this system is tailor-made for Alexis Sanchez to come in on the right-hand side and do bits, bro. Because the high press thing, that's his game anyway. Do you know what I mean? He's technical enough into feet to do it. And also with Wan-Bissaka, he'll have someone close to him so he won't have to cut in and try and do these little dinks, man. Do you know what I'm saying? He'll have someone overlapping and he can move around. And
think Sanchez can still beat a man on the outside though? And
no, but
whip it in, that's not going to be him. He will want to still come inside.
On the outside. Wan-Bissaka will go down the outside, but it means he can come inside because he can use him as a decoy and come inside.
So you won't mind the inverted wing with someone like Sanchez?
No, because he's right-footed. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's different when it's a left footer that really wants to come
at every opportunity.
And cutting early as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that right wing is the only place that's open. I think if Sanchez is realistic, that's the only spot that he can possibly make his own because Tony's our 9. Rashford's our 11 now on the wing. Do you know what I mean? So it's only the right wing up for grabs. So if he's smart, he'll put his head down and say, you know what, like, I'm going to make that position mine, or else he's just going to be riding bench, bro.
It's interesting to see when he comes back. Ole says he's a few weeks behind the boys and he's training hard, played against Blackburn behind closed doors. So big season for him, man, because like I say, I just always forget he plays for us, I'm not going to lie. I literally
That's
do.
what I mean. And even if we get, even if you get 50% of the Arsenal Sanchez, he contributes 10 goals. You know what I mean? And we could do with that.
Because he's not going to be our main number 9. So
not at all.
Big thank you to all you lot for all the questions, man. We literally get inundated with questions, man. Like, we could literally do a whole show just on questions. So apologies if your question didn't get read out. Don't get disheartened. Please keep sending them in and we'll try and get through as many of them as possible. Right, Rants, let's wrap this up, man. Let's look ahead to this Wolves game. We've got the 3 points in the bag from Chelsea, which is fantastic, and we've got confidence, more importantly, going into this game. Would have been an even bigger task to go to Molineux off the back of a defeat or a bad draw to Chelsea at home on the opening day. We saw what they're about last season. I'm not saying that they're going to be as good this season. They've got Europe to worry about, but it's their first home game of the season. Molineux is going to be vibrant, in your face. How do we approach this game? Because last season, they counted us. We had the ball for large periods. We're very lethargic, very poor with the football. Jimenez, hold up, Jota, through, goal. Like, do you know what I mean? So how do we go at this, considering at the moment our midfield's not our best asset and our counter-attack is? What do we do?
Bro, from what I remember, we had Ashley Young at right back and Phil Jones played. So there you go, innit? Like, you're not countering this team like that. Like, we're not going to be as susceptible to the counter-attack because they don't have pace like that to worry. There's nothing down that left side that's worrying Wan-Bissaka. No. And Harry Maguire, like, Jota's a very good good striker, but Harry Maguire would just brush him aside as well. Like, I'm confident of that. Like, honestly, the calming influence this defence has had on me throughout the pre-season, the worst thing you could do with this Manchester United side is give us the ball. I actually feel like the way to beat us is to outpossess us the way Chelsea did, but then be more clinical.
Yeah.
If you actually give us the ball and you're not pressurising our defence, our attacking players will make something happen, bro. Like, Martial's the fulcrum now. It's not Lukaku. It's not bouncing off Rom. It's not Rashford no more. Like, it's Martial. And the way he holds the ball and links play, seriously, like, chances will be created.
Do we go after them in terms of the high press, continue that, get at them?
I think we have to just stick by that philosophy and play that way all the time. And I feel like Wolves, if you allow them to play, they're a dangerous team.
Exactly.
Man. They play the ball very continental, European style of football. Like, it felt like a Europa League game when we were there. That's the pace of it. That's how Wolves like to play. But if you hurry them and you get onto them and you get Jesse in the middle buzzing around just like that, go for the pace, man.
Because I have to say, the second game against Wolves, the first game, I think, was the Cup one. Or was that the second one? I can't remember.
No, I think it was League first and Cup after.
Was it?
And then we lost to them, then they lost to Watford.
Okay, so whichever one the second one was anyway, I can't remember which way round it was.
The second one was the one where Rashford scored late, innit? And it was 2-1 or something.
Oh, I thought that was... I can't even remember.
I think that was the second game.
Well, basically, yeah, exactly. That's like, I mean, I'm still in a blur. But what I was saying is that the second one is where McTominay scored. We had the ball. We started very well. McTominay scored from outside the box. Yeah. I think that was the second game. I'm pretty sure. And we actually did very well for the first bit of that. Then Ashley Young made a mistake, got sent off.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
But that must have been the first one then, because the Luke Shaw mistake was the second one that got us knocked out the cup, remember? Oh. And then Rashford scored late. I think that was the second game.
Yeah, do you know? Anyway, what I'm saying is, we did well for large parts and then mistakes undone us. So I think, yes, Wolves are a good team, but especially in whatever game it was, the first or the second, I saw us start very well. It was the second game because I thought we've learnt from our first time here, we learnt from our first time here because we were bopping it around. McTominay came in, then he scored from outside the box, good goal, fizzed it across the floor, and then I think mistakes came in, and I'm pretty sure that's when Ashley Young got sent off. Okay. I think if we can go at Wolves, give them the press when they are on the ball, like you said, hurry them up. Most importantly, play exactly the same team as well. Maybe the Pereira thing, you might say, okay, Jesse. You can come into the 10 from the start and we'll start Daniel James maybe. I don't know, he might not do that. But
I'd still leave James as an impact player. For now, probably start Pereira again.
Would you?
I mean, I would.
Just to give him a bit of confidence. See how he goes.
Exactly the same because actually he got an assist.
Yeah, he did.
Like, started the same. Start Pereira on the right. You know what I mean? I like that.
The only thing you would change is not start him in the middle.
Yeah.
You'd start him on the right and have Jesse in there as the
Exactly.
as
I'd
the
go
10.
more of the same, bro.
Okay, all right, I hear you. Listen, that is the end of the Flex and Rant show. First game down, 1 win, but can't get carried away. Tough trip to Molineux. What's the score going to be? Prediction?
2-0.
Clean sheet?
Yeah.
Clean sheet, good. I like that optimism.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1. I don't know, I just feel like they're just so strong at home, Wolves.
They are.
I hope I'm wrong. I can see why you're going for a 2-0. We look very strong composed at the back. I just feel we might concede. Hopefully I'm wrong. 2-1 for me. Let me know what your predictions are. Let us know what your predictions are. Drop a like on the video and make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you're sharing all the videos. And just before we sign off, thank you to everyone who came down to the 500k party. It was crazy. Meeting all you lot who are probably watching now. Thank you lot for the love, the humbleness. It's just been brilliant. We're going to do more of it. We're going to do a lot more of it. And we'll see you guys same time, same place next week. Peace. Big thank you to you guys for watching the latest of our videos. And if you want to check out more, make sure you do that just to the right of me. We are the biggest and best Manchester United channel in the world. Make sure you check us out on all of the socials as well. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. The socials are along the bottom. Peace.